Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and for the last 7 days, I've been driving the 2025 Ford Explorer ST. Up front is a 3.0 liter twin turbo V6, and down below is a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be making this video here today because I've spent the last week driving and quite frankly loving the Explorer ST. Now, not only is this the performance trim level, which I haven't driven in several years, but this is also a completely new generation for the Ford Explorer. It's been updated, and so we'll be talking about that quite a bit throughout today's video. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you would like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month, as well as there's exclusive audio content. But let's get back to that 3-liter twin-turbo V6 under the hood. Well, it is good for 400 horsepower. It is absolutely lovely. And although we don't see a horsepower bump from the outgoing generation of Explorer, I don't think it really needed it. It's a thrilling drive. It has plenty of power, and I have truly, truly loved it. Most other Explorers do get a 4-cylinder 2.3 liter turbo engine, so the V6 is definitely a welcome upgrade. Fuel economy, I have averaged 17.5 miles to the gallon. Not good, but I've been driving like I stole it. Get it? Stole it. Like I said, paired to it is a 10-speed automatic. This is pretty similar to a lot of other Ford products. Ford likes to use 10 speeds, and they're good enough. It works well, and it's been shifting the vehicle in a good enough fashion. Last but not least, of course, the Explorer ST is all-wheel drive. How does it feel to drive the Explorer ST? Well, it does have a little bit harsher of a ride than, say, other vehicles because it is a little bit sportier. It has to have a little bit stiffer suspension to handle that extra power so you don't fall off a cliff. And the steering is a little bit light. I guess not even light, it's just easily persuaded by bumps. So the vehicle as a whole, you're piloting a 3-row SUV, but you hit a bump and you kind of shimmy with the steering, which is kind of interesting. However, it is a blast to drive. Utilizing all 400 of those ponies under the hood is always a joy, and it brings quite the smile to my face. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me I have a completely digital gauge cluster. This is Ford's newer design, and I like it quite a bit. The tachometer and speedometer are easy to read, front and center, and I like that. On the steering wheel on the left, we do have our adaptive cruise as well as blue cruise. So this does have hands-free cruise control, which I'll have a completely separate video just about that, but this does have it, which I think is great for the price. Volume, mute, and off to the right, we have our selectors, go back, as well as our skip track, and we get a bespoke ST badge down at the bottom of the steering wheel. Off to the left, we do have our first B&O speaker. I really like this speaker system, and I like how it's cleanly integrated into the dash. We also have a climate control vent, headlight switch, and gauge dimmer switch. And moving on to the door, we have 3 levels of memory seats, lock and unlock, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, we get our giant infotainment system. Now, I love and hate this system at the same time. We do get wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and plenty of systems and apps to go through on here. I really like the 360 camera. That has been really helpful while parking this vehicle. I think it's clear, I think it's pretty responsive, and that's all I really need from it. The issue that I have is that for 2025, they have moved the climate controls into the screen exclusively, and I don't like that. I prefer physical climate controls. And here's the outgoing 2024 Ford Explorer with its climate controls. Now back to the 2025, and it's all in the screen. I just don't like it. And I had this issue with the Ford Mustang that they put the climate controls in the screen. So it's not just for the Explorer, it's for all cars. Down below that, we have 2 climate control vents, and we do have some physical buttons for volume, auto start stop, parking assist, hazard switch, camera button, traction control off, and auto holding brake, a little cubby with a charging pad, and down below we get an openable cubby. In there we'll find USB-A, USB-C, and a 12-volt outlet. And then in the center console we get the shifter off to the left. This is a rotary dial shifter, which is fine. I don't mind it. Power parking brake and drive mode select. So we have a bunch of drive modes to select from: trail, slippery, normal, eco, sport, and tow haul. I will talk a little bit because I think these animations are fantastic. The previous generation had some animations, but these push it quite a bit further, and I really, really enjoy it. I like that attention to detail that Ford has given these drive modes, and it just makes me feel special when I do end up switching. Off to the right, we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test, and sadly, yet somewhat predictably, it fails the big friggin' bottle test. Then we do get a center console with 2 USB-C chargers in there, and the seats. The seats are heated, ventilated, power, memory, and massaging. The front 2 seats are massage seats, which has been fantastic. I have had some lower back pain this week. I wonder why. Thank you, Toyota, but no thank you at the same time. And the heated seats and massaging have actually really been helpful. This has been fantastic to get in and out of every single day because of that. However, one of the Explorer's claim to fame is the fact that it is a 3-row SUV. So let's go do some backseat reviews. All right, so we're in the second row of the Ford Explorer ST, and I forgot to say at the top of the video, happy Valentine's Day if you're watching this on the day of release. And for the record, I love you. It's a chocolate record. It's kind of cute. Anyway, we're in the back of the Ford Explorer ST, and a couple of things to note. We have our own fan speed and temperature control. We have heated seats back here, 2 USB-Cs, a wall outlet, and fold-out cup holders in the center. We also get captain's chairs, which I really like, and they do say ST on them. However, you can only view the ST badge from certain angles. It's behind the fabric. It's really weird, but very interesting. I also do get vents in the ceiling like a private jet. I really like seeing that. We have LED lights, we have speakers in the doors, power windows, sunshades, cup holders, the whole 9 yards. Anything you want in the back seat of a 3-row, you're gonna have back here. However, speaking of that 3rd row, let's hop into the very back. Okay, I'm in the back seat, the back seat of the Ford Explorer ST, and it's not wonderful. I can put that seat down and forward. I can actually scoot in here. It's not great for a person my size, but these back seats aren't designed for people my size. Kids are gonna fit back here fine. This is going to be a fantastic mom wagon or dad wagon, whoever likes 400 horsepower. I do have USB-Cs over here. I have 2 USB-Cs. I have cup holders and things like that, but it has a 3rd row. It has a usable 3rd row. It's not the best in the world. It's also far from the worst, but it exists. So when you need it, you have it. Very nice to see. Let's hop out into the cold. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. Right around the back of the Ford Explorer ST. The button is actually over here under the R. There's a little arrow that shows it, but it's very hard to see. Once we are back here, we do have an ice scraper, of course. We do have buttons to fold, so very nice to see that. There you go. We also do get a 12-volt outlet, and we have some storage down here, down below. Really like to see all of that. Beyond that, nothing too crazy. We can put this one down as well, so you can get an idea of what the standard cargo space is going to be like when both seats are down. Bring them back up just like that. One touch of the button, absolutely fantastic. And speaking of buttons, we do have our tailgate button right there. Bring it right back down. Absolutely love to see all of that. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and first of all, I love the color. I love that it's red, and I posted a TikTok about this, and the only comment I got on that TikTok was, thank you for not buying a police color, aka white, black, or maybe brown or blue, because these are used as police cruisers, of course. I obviously did not buy this car, but I agree with that commenter that I like seeing them in red. It gives me less of a heart attack when I see one in a parking lot. But overall, this is a new generation, and this is going to be the clearest showing of the new generation of the Ford Explorer. Now, the hood seems to be the same as the outgoing. The doors seem to be, the taillights are the same shape. So it's really just a pretty hefty refresh. and they reused some of the body panels. Here is a side-by-side of 2024 Timberline. Now, you can't compare them directly because the Timberline does have off-roady features, but just to get an idea of what has changed between the two model years. So, interesting to see that. One thing I hate about the exterior, though, is the quad tip exhaust because it's a faker! Look inside here. They actually have the exhaust tips turned down before the exit. The exits are fake. Now, I'm sure this is some type of regulation issue where the exhaust has to be pointed down at a certain angle so you don't kill a koala bear 30,000 miles away, which I'm all for. I think we should try to protect the environment as much as possible, but putting fake exhaust tips over that is just kind of silly. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Ford Explorer ST for the last 7 days? Well, I really enjoy the Explorer ST. Let's get the downside out of the way, which is the touchscreen infotainment. The loss of buttons really bothers me. I prefer having physical climate controls, and they've now taken that away. What it feels like, and what I'm currently experiencing in my own life, is a good friend moving away. Sure, there's FaceTime and iMessage and Instagram and TikTok and all of the social media ways to stay connected with one another. And you say to each other when you move, it's going to be like I never left. We're going to be talking all the time. We're going to call, all this stuff. And you say, yeah, that's good. But then you miss out on the little moments. When your friend moves away, they're not going to bring you jumper cables at midnight anymore when your Facebook Marketplace deal isn't quite what it was chopped up to be. You're going to miss the moments of when it's free Slurpee day. You call them and say, hey, I'm on my way to your house. Hop in, we're going. You don't get that physical connection anymore. And although social media and technology is fantastic for staying in touch with friends that move away, it's just not the same. That's how I feel about this infotainment system. I can still change my temperature. I still get dual zone. I still get all the buttons, but that physical immediacy is kind of gone. It's now kind of a process just to stay connected or to change my temperature, where it used to not be. I used to walk 3 houses down and knock on their door. Say, hey, can so-and-so play today? That's how I feel about the climate controls. I'll get off my high horse, maybe a deeper analogy than needed. However, I have absolutely adored driving this Explorer ST. I have loved every second of it, and to peel back the curtain a little bit, I actually had 3 press cars the week of filming, and I chose the Explorer ST to drive over the other 2. Driving this has been wonderful, and it's done everything I've wanted it to. It has the massage seats, it has luxury features, but it also has 3 rows. I can bring all of my friends along, and I'm going to enjoy that drive with all of my friends, at least the ones that didn't move away, more than any other 3-row. Maybe comparatively to the Dodge Durango Hellcat, but that is kind of a league of its own. I don't think the ST is directly trying to compete with a vehicle like that. It's making just a touch over half of its horsepower. I think this is a really complete package, and bringing it full circle, that price tag is fantastic. The Dodge Durango Hellcat that I drove, $100,000. The Maserati Grecale that's in my driveway right now, $127,000. So although it sounds crazy to say, the fact that this is $61,290, this seems like a bargain. A sporty, fun, enjoyable bargain. At the $60,000 price point, I've driven a lot of vehicles, and this is one of the top ones for sure. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Ford for allowing me to borrow their Ford Explorer for the last 7 days. Huge thank you to G. Schmidt for facilitating the cleaning and delivery of this vehicle, and of course, the Midwestern Automotive Media Association. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.